Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. My name is Jan-Jaap Abbink. I'm reporting for JJA Sports Studio, the only true source for pro wrestling on the globe, where you can find daily your latest news, updates, everything you want. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always ask our admins. Welcome everybody. We're going to do our this week, every week of the evening, same time, same place. A podcast, what's going on to the hype, overhyped, no, not overhyped, wrong word. But what I mean to say is, the biggest event of the year is coming up, WrestleMania. A lot of big hype coming up. So we're doing as traditional wise, I think we've done it already 5 to 7 years now. My God, it's 10 years in the making, JJ Sports Studio. Actually this August. And it's funny, right? We've been doing this a while, and we have such grateful followers. And so the last few weeks, we've really been growing fast on every social media platform there is. So that's great. So every week or every day of the week, we are doing this podcast live. If you have any questions now on Twitch and YouTube, you can do it directly over the chat. And if I have, and of course, as long as wrestling related, I will try to answer your question. And this week it has to be, of course, WrestleMania related. On that aside, if you're watching we're also live on X and we're live on YouTube and on Facebook. If you have a question, you may lay your question in the comment, then I'll get the day after. So remember, we're always on the same time. So if you want your question answered in video, you just have to tune in tomorrow. And if you're watching on demand on YouTube, or you can lay it in the comments. Let's be fair. But the chats are open. So here on Monday nights. So let's talk a little bit about wrestling news. Well, the Wrestling Observer reported today. I have to find it a little bit because I messed around a little bit. I clicked it away. Just a second, people. This is very unprofessional of me. But hey, it's Monday, right? that shit day of the week. All right, here we are. All right, so about Nikki Bella, she is still injured. She is still recovering. The Wrestling Observer said also it's too close to call to make an opinion of, if she's make it or not make it to WrestleMania, because she is in that 4 women's tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. If Nikki Bella actually doesn't make it, it seems to it can be that Brie will probably be in. She get a replacement, but there's no there's actually no what is it called? Indication who that should be. So I think if Nikki doesn't make it right, I think the Bella Twins, to be quite honest, will be pulled. It can be shortened out to a three-way, or there are two replacement team for like Julia and Kiana James, or the Kabuki Warriors. Because we still also have an unannounced match that is Asuka versus Io Sky. Now the rumor is actually that they're going to take place on Backlash. However, the shoots actually for an interview are already taken. So maybe it get announced on WrestleMania. Could be tonight. Because we have also still another match, and that's from Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was placed in concussion protocol. Now that doesn't mean she actually has a concussion, but they're keeping an extra eye on her to make sure that you know, if because she was pushed into Roxanne, and apparently there was fear of a concussion there. Now we don't know, therefore she's placed in concussion protocol. We didn't hear anything about it yet, so it looks like she is okay. She did also her music video Trouble came out today. I watched it. It's okay song. It's not my kind of music. I must say, I think it's too much, a little bit influenced by Britney Spears and all that kind of music. Not my style. But, you know, if you love it, great. Will we see Liv Morgan in the music industry, peeps? We'll never know, right? That on the daily news, that's actually going a little bit around at the current time. Of course, more tomorrow, because we have tonight Monday Night Raw. Yesterday we had AEW Dynasty, amazing pay-per-view. I really enjoyed it. I think what happened, great stuff. So WWE has something, you know, to compete against. You know, bring us a great WrestleMania, and there's a lot of talk about WrestleMania, and it's the ticket sales are not as they should be. Every evening 40,000. Last year was around 60,000. Can be because it's the same stadium, but most of course the ticket prices are expensive. We talked about that in the last episode of 2 weeks ago on the Pro Wrestling Report. We looked at the difference between the ticket prices of All In and WrestleMania, the two big major events of those competing companies. And it came out that actually a family of four pays a difference of $3,000 or something like that. Well, I think it was 31, but I'm not sure. You know, I'm getting older. Anyway, let's talk about another topic in the sky, and that is very discussed actually a lot in the pro on over the internet, and that's Pat McAfee. And there's a lot of negativity about it. And you can actually look at it in two ways, actually, peeps. And what I have is it WWE is trying. Now I'll try to explain it otherwise. WWE has lately always done a lot of same build-ups to the major events of these, you know, to make it personal, to look at the same. And you know what the problem is? If you do over and over and over and over again the same thing, it's getting stale, right? And that's not good. That is also bad for the ticket sale, right? Because what do they normally do? They first have some promos together, then they have a pull apart brawl, then they have a contract signing. It's so, you know what I mean? It's so boring. It's every time the same. So I'm actually happy that they're trying something else. I mean, you know, you have to do something about the low ticket sales. You have to sell tickets. Now, the case is Pat McAfee actually the right person? And that's I've been actually wondering. Now, let's say, peeps, let's be real here, right? If it now was The Rock, right, or even Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista has history with Randy Orton, Evolution. Just saying, throwing curveball out there. Okay, you can also do Ric Flair, but I think Ric Flair is still in the contract with AEW, so I'm sort of legend. I'm not 100% certain, all right. So, but I believe he still is. So that's even not possible. But if it was possible, Ric Flair, I mean, the guy should be retiring, enjoys margaritas at home. Or probably chasing some women. You never know with Ric Flair, right? No, but I'm going off topic. If it now was Batista, right, or it was The Rock, would it make a difference? Would it have actually made more impact? Would it have received more positivity? Ask yourself that question. Because what they try to do is, and we forget about it, the problem was that Randy had to turn heel because Cody is the babyface, the small children, where WWE business focus is on, is actually, so they can't turn him heel because he is the face of the company. The children love him, right? And those are the most important for the business, as I told you, for them. So Randy had to turn heel. But as you all noticed, everybody was cheering Randy Orton. So something had to be done. Something extreme had to be done. So they came up with probably that phone call. Slowly build up. Who is it? It was Pat McAfee. See, the thing is, what we a lot forget about is WrestleMania is in the US on ESPN, right? ESN Plus, or what is it called? I watch on Netflix, so because I'm not located in the US. But nonetheless, so let's take a fact for that. Then it's an ideal person to take Pat McAfee. But is he a big enough star to pull that weight? Would have The Rock. Now, the problem with The Rock is he is doing a movie. I think he is called, I think he's doing the third Jumanji, or closing it at the time, but I think he's still busy with it. I think it's the last shootings this week. So that was already impossible. Dave Bautista I think he's also doing a movie. So what do you have left? And I know it's, but Pat McAfee, he's a good talker. You can say what you ever want, but he's a great talker. But it makes so unrealistic, and that I get, and that is because what he's going to do. I mean, he had some matches in WWE against Adam Cole, I believe. One of them was the name when Adam Cole was still in NXT, was the NXT champion at the time. I think he had also didn't he have also a WrestleMania match? I can't even remember, peeps. I'm getting old. but the thing is, so he has a little bit of wrestling, but does it make realistic? And what does it play out of? He says, yeah, if Randy Orton, I'm not losing, I'm not coming back. Dude, you're never there. I mean, you go off, do your little talk show on ESPN, and that is great. But he is there too less that people may say, okay, that's not good. And actually, the fun part, JJ Sports Studio, some months ago, shared a video where he was literally saying he was done with WWE. But now, even the rumor goes, after WrestleMania, is on Backlash, we're going to get a tag team match. Randy Orton and Pat McAfee versus Cody Rhodes and Jelly Roll. See, I'm all for, and for the better, for Cody Rhodes to come on paper. And I noticed that a lot if you go a little back before he won the first title in WWE. As usual, as a babyface is, to get Roddy back on the saddle, I think he must chase the title. And let him chase him it for a while. So it's better that you put the title on Randy, right? And so, because even if we love Cody, if you love Cody or not, the build towards that he was chasing the title towards Roman was better and well achieved and settled Cody Rhodes and more accepted Cody Rhodes than we have him as champion. And rightfully so, because the problem is with Cody Rhodes, and I don't know how you guys feel, but every time he comes to the ring, okay guys, what do you want to talk about? Every single time it's getting boring. It's getting still. WWE needs to fix it up. And I'm not blaming actually Cody for this. I'm blaming actually the people who write his promos. We all know WWE does. It's no big secret, right? AEW does it with Stick Wars, and in the olden days, actually, WWE did that also. Now they every single line has to be scripted from word to word to word, and so boring. And some, if you listen very good, you can notice on it that every line is written. I like the olden days that you just get some keywords and get your own personality done. It comes over more natural. You know, you can put your own input in it. You come over more natural, right? Like I'm talking to you guys. As I'm talking to you now, I don't have a script. None here. See, this is my phone. Hold on. See, this is my phone. Nothing to see on. You know what I mean? I have no script. I have nothing here. So I'm talking as I am talking as a person. The case is if you do that, then you come over more natural as a person. That's why I always like to do podcasts. Plus, I like to talk. You know, this is not a theory, but all right. You know, but that's another topic, peeps. That's what I prefer as doing a promo, coming from you naturally. You know, I think, for example, MJF is good at it. MJF, you can really see on his body language. He's getting some stick words. He gets, okay, these words you have to hit, and the rest come from yourself. I like that. Stone Cold Steve Austin, I know that he did it also. The Rock, you know, I don't think he ever get a line. You know, that's so natural. Maybe Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins is also a natural giver on doing promos. But the rest is definitely 100% scripted. Now, these lines, it's so boring every time. If you come out, it's every time the same. It's the same with I've said in Roman Reigns, you stick your hand in the air, say, acknowledge me. People, we know it after a certain time. And I know it's in some sort of catch line. I know it's the marker of that person, but change it up from time to time. Because it's not getting used. So that's also a problem. So actually, what WWE is trying to do, instead of doing the usual promos, what we have now actually going on with, that's the problem also when you have two main events. Because on Raw, with CM Punk and Roman Reigns, you see the natural build-up, right? Can you imagine we had exactly the same build-up between Randy and Cody? Wouldn't it be more boring if we had the same build-up on Raw and SmackDown between two different matches? Ask yourself that. So I'm asking you, actually, peeps, is it not good that we get something different? That we get more watchable? I know Pat is maybe not your favorite person. I get that. Okay, but take him out persuasion. Let's say if it was The Rock. Would you have a problem with it then? That is exactly my point. There's a lot of negativity, and I get it, and I understand what you guys are also saying. But come on, peeps, you have to do something. You can't build up two matches exactly the same thing. We're doing this week a promo against face to face. Next week we have to bring all the bodyguards out because there's a pull-out brawl. They have to pull from each other. Then we do a contract signing. How boring is that if you do that with every match? And we know those contract signs are pure bullshit. Because we know they don't have to sign contracts. You know what I mean? They're under contract with WWE. But anyway, I have something against contract signings. There are some good ones. I'm not negative here totally about it, but it's so kayfabe. It's okay kayfabe. Nothing against kayfabe, by the way. You know what I mean? I grown up in kayfabe area, right? But that's actually my take on it. I think we have to, instead of being so negativity about it, and I agree with you, Pat McAfee is not the correct person for it. And I think still that TKO should not have blind side in this matter. Because you can bitch and moan about Triple H as you want. But is it really his fault? I don't think so. TKO used his power, and my God, can you imagine if TKO start doing? Because this is the thing, right? TKO actually never meddles with creative. I'm not saying WWE creative side is the best at the current time. Could do a lot better. But the idea that they're building up different, that I applaud. I think that's a good side. So it's not 100% negativity. Maybe they should definitely do it with somebody, have done it with somebody else. I just don't know, because The Rock, as I said, doing movies. I think it was also Dave Bautista doing movies. And, turning John Cena heel again just for this, they won't do. So, who should have done it? Beats me. But, they get more booed now, Randy Orton, and it's not because of Randy Orton. It's because of Pat McAfee. That's the fun part, peeps. That's the fun part. But I'm actually, what I want to do is, peeps, I want to hear your side on this matter. And that is actually, what if it was someone else? And who would you like to have seen instead of Pat McAfee? And pick someone where this sort of build up, what they're doing with Pat McAfee and Randy Orton, would have worked. And be serious, not come out with Kermit the Frog. We've seen that. We know that. No, but something serious, peeps. I think be a little bit your own creative. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say that. And you don't have to write, but then take it up with yourself. And I think then if you take that, then maybe this thing you can take more serious. But I think it's I think also what I've seen, they said to Pat McAfee eventually last Friday, go out there, whatever, ignore that we're PG while they're PG, because a lot of scenes were cut out, I noticed. So anyway, I will not bother you further with this. This is the first of the whole week. Um, let's talk a little bit what you're going to suspect. Well, on Tuesday and Wednesday, you're getting still the these kind of, we're going to talk about the news topics everywhere. We're going to a little bit more dig deeper in it. Then on Thursday we're going to do the predictions for Saturday, WrestleMania Saturday, and on Friday we're going to do the predictions for WrestleMania Sunday. On and I'm not sure if we're going to do still we're going to be on live on Sunday and Saturday and Sunday, because then we'll be busy with so much news. So I will get back to you. I'll give you an update on that. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you tomorrow. Take care and stay tuned. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/JJ Sports Studio. Twitch.tv/JJ Sports Studio. X on @JJ Sports Studio. We're also live on YouTube, youtube.com/JJ LiveTube. We're all there, peeps. And also don't forget to check us on TikTok, tiktok.com/JJ Sports Studio. Take care. Have a wonderful time with Raw tonight. And I'll see you tomorrow with a new episode of the Pro Wrestling Report.